How many players do Everton need this summer for you, do you think?
They're probably going to need 8, simply because quite a few are going.
Yeah.
And therefore, the manager's mentioned a few times, the squad's too small. So I think 12 are out of contract. And that is varying levels, don't get me wrong, not like the whole team's walking out the door. So Everton have got a really good
varying ages as well. That's
exactly.
Important.
Everton have got a great opportunity to flip this now as well. And again, the savings, if they did go, the savings on the wage bill are huge as well. So they've got a really good opportunity to flip it. But I think Everton will bring in 8 players this summer. Whether that won't be obviously 8 starters, but I think Everton will bring in at least 8 players this summer.
Okay. Let's talk about a few ransom riders here. So Carlos Alcaraz will likely become a permanent signing for 15 million. Do you think that's a good deal?
Yeah.
How do you feel about him? Yeah.
He's good. Listen, very comfortable on the ball, hard worker, only 22. Played for Southampton in the Premier League, played for Juventus, played for Flamengo.
I'm surprised he left Southampton, to be honest. I thought...
Juventus took him, didn't he? And then obviously Flamengo took him, so... Yeah.
Yeah, good pedigree there. Yeah. Okay, so current transfer links. Kevin Voltemade, who I was talking about on Saturday Social at the weekend.
Yeah.
Who was I putting him for?
Still waiting for my invite to that, but carry on, James. Let that one slide. Let that one slide. Carry on.
I say it's got nothing to do with it. So, 23, 6'6" striker. Very... there's lovely Fellaini vibes knocking about there, especially for a 23-year-old.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see how he would kind of live with Alcaraz. But if that was something that was to kind of come to be, that would make you feel that someone like Doucouré would definitely leave this summer. Doucouré's done a lot for Everton as a club. Is it the right time to sort of shake hands and say goodbye to him?
Certainly on the contract he's on. Absolutely. He's on a very good contract and a 32. No, I wouldn't be renewing. And Everton have said that. Everton aren't taking up that option. Whether or not that means play for half wages sort of thing, and that might be more attractive. I don't know. At the moment, and he said this himself, it looks like he'll leave the club. You have got to start to flip that back towards a younger side. And I think that's what David Moyes will try and do. So whether it's... there's a couple of others looking at the big fella, though, isn't it? I think West Ham are looking at him and one or two others. So, yeah.
That was who I put him forward for, actually, West Ham. He would be a really good fit there as well. But as I say, he's got really good feet. I can see him work. When you think of that David Moyes, we saw it. We saw it at Everton, and then he created it again at West Ham. And I remember a long time ago, you guys coming to Loftus Road, and I remember the zip of the passing, the way that you guys played was really sort of just so different to what I think a casual fan might think of David Moyes and maybe Everton, based on certainly the Sean Dyche era. You were fun, it was fun. It was there was a high tempo to it, and I think we're kind of seeing that again. Chris Rigg is an option apparently. 17 years old. Yeah. You've got to lower the age profile, as you've kind of alluded to already. And there's a few others, all kind of around this 23 to 17 with Chris Rigg. You've got Ben Doak, who I saw actually this year as well. Proper out and out. Kevin McLeod. Me and you will be the only two people that know that name.
Kevin McLeod.
You've got Kevin McLeod vibes. Google it, people. How do you feel about that one? This has come from Daily Mirror, so maybe a bit of a pinch of salt there. But would that be a bit outrageous with him being Liverpool?
Yeah, I don't think Ben Doak is an option. Not saying he's not. Not saying he's not. He's very
based on the Liverpool.
Yeah, it's the same with when you see Liverpool want Jarrad Branthwaite. It's just never going to happen. It's there's zero chance. So I don't see. Listen, don't get me wrong. I don't think Liverpool will probably be massively bothered. But I just think those sorts of transfers I can't see happening.
And with Chris Rigg as that sort of second striker, that number 10, or Maxim Esteve as centre back, been brilliant for Burnley this season, who've just do not concede goals in the Championship. 22, played for France in the Olympics last summer.
Yeah,
is that got to be the aim? I think as well, to sort of be a place where if you're an exciting young player, initially there's different stages, isn't there, to this? But like to bring in those kind of players and go and get them excited to be at Everton, new stadium, great manager, that sort of stable, settled situation instead of what it's been over the last few years. Do you think that's the sort of, is that the MO? Is that what you want to see over the next couple of years?
Yeah, listen, we all want, I could be lying if I didn't say, I want to see Everton challenging for the league title, of course. That seems miles away at the moment. But like I said to you before, the example of Forest, Newcastle, Villa, that it can flip with momentum, of course, that's what you're looking for. But those players have got to... Everton have moved away from it. Everton were brilliant at this. And under David Moyes, are getting players in and really developing them, and then obviously some will go off to other things. It's got to be a place for these players. And Everton moved away from it under the Moshiri era. And it's got to be a place again now where it is Chris Rigg. You know, Everton, I don't know, just for argument's sake, say it was Everton and Chelsea. He should be looking, going, well, at Chelsea, I'm just going to be one of 500 players who are all talented, but some will make the grade, some won't. Or at Everton, I'd go and play and develop. And then if Everton don't go to where I want to go, one of those clubs, who are there would come and take me. I think as fans right now, I don't think we should be scared of that being almost a journey club rather than a destination club. The dream for all of us is to be a destination club for players. Of course it is. Everton are nowhere near that level right now. So we've got to almost become the journey club then and go, we'll take you with us. But this summer is hugely exciting, I think, in terms of attracting players, because you've got the Freaking group who've just took over with all their backing, and their MO at Roma, they also own AS Roma, is players 23 and under. That's their big thing. So therefore, seeing that come into Everton, not saying every player has to be 23 and under, but the majority. New ground, like you've just said, it's incredible. And nothing, perception is almost the be-all and end-all in football, James. Yes, you need to somehow back it up, but perception, and you can change perception easily, is we get to play in this new thing. This club are on this journey now, and I want to be part of it. Whether or not it gets there is a different thing. It's up to the players to produce it and the fans to make it that. But I think you've mentioned a couple of players there. The Burnley lad, you mentioned Chris Rigg. These kind of players, I think, will be looking at Everton and go, you know what, that actually could be a really good move for me. Rather than going, no, they're just all over the place. Why would I go there playing that brand of football? Because I know that quite a few players rejected Everton last summer and the summer before because of who the manager was and the way he plays. So therefore, you're trying to change that perception now. So these young players do look and go, you know what? Yeah, I'll have a bit of that. They're going somewhere.
Yeah, I think that's huge. And I think that it's never been a better time to be a mid-table Premier League club.
Yeah.
Because when it comes to sort of bringing in money, yes, there's spending money, right? But ideally, you want to be able to sort of bring in money. I have a bit of a theory that the sort of top teams have obviously got their huge commercial revenues, right? And they might have enough players or might have stockpiled enough players to sort of sell and bring in money here and there. But in terms of like first team squad players, they need to come in and stay there for like 8 years. And that's how they get their value. Because generally, if you buy someone for Anthony 90 million, thinking he's going to be great for the next 8 years, and he's not, the best you're going to get is 30 million. Whereas Brighton's a great example, but Forest in a different way. Brighton, a great example, go and get those guys. They bring them in. Okay, you're nearly ready. Go on loan to these teams. Come back. Okay, we're actually going to play you now, and we're actually happily going to sell you as well. But we're always going to sell you to Chelsea and Arsenal and those different teams. That's how you get to a point where you've got a squad with incredible depth and money to go out and buy exciting players. And Forest is a different example where Alanga, Man United reject, Hudson-Odoi, Chelsea reject, Nico Williams, Liverpool reject. All I know, it's a bit of a longer journey, but was at Chelsea. Like Elliot Anderson, I know it's a PSR thing, but another they've gone and kind of got rejects that aren't rejects, and you've now got a team that's good enough to be pushing for the Champions League. So I think it's a really interesting. Like, you'd much rather be there than if you had gone down 2 seasons ago, and you were and your Leeds. Yeah, like, that's a lot harder. Yeah, a lot harder. Last thing I want to do here is, so Everton are said to be deploying a ruthless attitude when it comes to contracts from here on out. For example, we spoke about Doucouré. He's not had his contract extended because of those high wages. And I have heard something about, like, availability being a big thing for David Moyes. So I did want to just get a yes or no, a quickfire yes or no, on how many of these players you think will be at Everton next season. So you can kind of give if you'd like to re-sign them, but also if you think they will be re-signed.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Mangala, end of loan.
No.
Gone. Lindstrom, end of loan.
Lindstrom, if he's a loan again, he's got 1 assist all season. He's a player who in Germany played as an 8 or a 10. Got a big turn Liverpool down, went to Napoli, big move, and Napoli put him on the right wing, and he done nothing, and Everton got him on loan, and Everton have shoved him on the right wing, and he's had some decent performances, but his numbers don't warrant paying for him. So if Everton could get him on loan again, I'd take him on another loan with the idea that you tried them in field, but otherwise I wouldn't buy him, no.
Okay. Harrison, end of loan.
I think he'll go to MLS. I think he'll go back.
Really?
New York Red Bulls want him. I think he'll go back there. Back to New York. He was at New York City before, but I think he'll go back to MLS.
Yeah, of course, yeah. Brozier, who's like not been able to play too much really because of injuries.
I'd like to keep him again for another year on loan. I wouldn't be buying him. Everton had an option for 25 to 30 million. He's played 8 games or something, and he started 1 of them, I think, or 2. He's been injured the whole season. So if we could get him on loan again, because I think he's got loads of really good attributes, but he can't stay fit. So personally, I'd like another loan with him.
Yeah, it's almost reset the club, right?
Yeah.
Dominic Calvert-Lewin, 28 years old.
No.
What? I know whenever I hear you talking about him, you're always rooting for him. But is it that enough?
Yeah. It's not to do with the ability. And this injury, when people go, oh, he's injured, he played 35 games last season and he played a few the year before. So I don't think it is just a hamstring injury he got in January. It's just one of those things. But I just feel like the time's come to the end for him as well. I think he needs he's 28, he needs a move. And I think Everton have just been wedded to one striker for so many years that we've discarded others, and I think we need a different way of playing. So I think Dominic will want to move on, and I'm okay with that. I think he's been a brilliant signing, £1 million from Sheffield United. He's been fantastic for Everton over the years, but I think now's probably the right time to say goodbye.
Okay. Doucouré, you've already said, time to go.
Yeah.
Michael Keane at 32.
Time to move on. Again, Michael, 32, needs to be playing. I think he'd be a decent signing for someone. I just think his time's done at Everton.
Seamus Coleman, 36. He's kind of alluded to the fact that he might be part of the coaching staff. Do you think this is it? He's done? Is he wanting to retire?
I think this is it. I love Seamus. I absolutely love him. I just don't. He's hardly been fit this season. When he comes back, he gets injured and he's out for weeks again. So I just feel like, and he's not one of them, James, that he'll just hang around for the sake of it. He's just not that type of person. So I feel like he's already been doing some coaching. He's took his badges and still taking his badges. So I think that'll be it for Seamus this season.
Okay. Virginia and Begovic. Oh, well, go on, Virginia.
Everton have got an option on him. He's been making all the right noises this week. So I imagine he'll sign, or Everton may take the option for another year. So I'm going to say he'll stay.
Okay. Begovic, I mean, I'm not interested in.
He's essentially just a coach. He's a goalie coach.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what he is.
And then the last two I think are really interesting. But again, like it shows, we've just spoken there about Doucouré 30s, Keane 30s, Coleman 30s, Begovic obviously 30s, but third choice goalkeeper. But Ashley Young and Idrissa Gueye. Idrissa Gueye's had a really, really strong season, and I was surprised by it, to be honest. But he is 35, and Ashley Young is 39.
Like,
what do you say about those two?
Idrissa Gueye is not even a question. He's unbelievable. Most tackles in Europe. Every week he's at least a 7 out of 10. He's fantastic. So he's not even a question. 100%. Everton have already been sorting that out, so he's at 100% yes. Ashley Young's really interesting because he's just a little bit younger than me. He's, you know what, James, right? Sean Dyche flogged him, and therefore it got people's back up. But there was a period in about October to about December when he was Everton's best player every week, comfortably. Because he was just, others weren't performing, but he was solid. Maybe best players stretching it. He was really consistent for about 8 games. But what Moyes has done brilliantly with him is he's used him how he should be used, which is like 25 minutes here and there, his experience, rather than in every week. You know, and again, Jake O'Brien couldn't get anything under Sean Dyche for some reason. Yeah, David Moyes has put him in the last 9 games, and Everton haven't lost one of them, and he scored 2 goals, and he looks like he should be playing, one of the first names. So again, more of an indictment on Sean Dyche's ability with players. Ashley Young felt like just I've got to play him no matter what was going on. Would I keep him? I don't think Everton will. And that's not because he's not still offering something. He'll play in the Merseyside derby because Everton have got no Mikalenko and he's the cover. But I just think Moyes will be looking and going, as good a pro as you are, then wages can be maybe used on a young player who is gonna, So I think he's been a really good signing for Everton. No free transfer. He's been really good for the free.
And let's finish off with this one. So, as a spokesperson for the club, and the difficult to a point. I know you speak for yourself.
Whoa. Let's just clarify that. I speak for myself. If other people agree, because people won't like that, because I certainly am not that. But I know what you mean.
Sorry, my bad. No, I know you. So, as someone who talks about Everton for a living, and what we discussed earlier about those different eras of Everton fans going into this new stadium off the back of what's been a very, very difficult decade. Yeah. What is your sort of message or rallying cry to the Everton fans, just to finish on? Because I'd be happy if you were, if you were the QPR guy personally, and obviously to utilise your wisdom of seeing what can be achieved with Everton. What is your message for the fans?
Well, I don't know whether it's a message. I think a lot of people are calmer now. I think the stability is coming. What we talked about, the instability under Farhad Moshiri. There's definitely an air of calmness, I think, among the fan base. And what I would say now is, or what I'll be doing, is buying in and start dreaming. Why not? Why continue to peddle the old woe is us? Let's get behind it. It's a new era. It's a new stadium. It'll be, to some extent, a new team. And the example that you keep coming back to, because if it had been one of those teams, you'd have gone, it's just one of those things. But for Newcastle, Villa and then Forest to show that you can get in there, staying in there is difficult, but you can get in there and bloody the nose of those richer clubs, if you like. Then why can't Everton to a certain extent? So, we're seeing brilliant, the FA Cup semi-finals got, teams, Aston Villa, Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest in it. Fantastic. Okay, City are there, but it's fantastic. Newcastle have just won the Carabao Cup. Bournemouth are in the race for Europe. Brighton have been there and thereabout. There's a great opportunity to get back into those areas. So let's go all the way with it and back it and see what happens, because we've had 5 years of awfulness. So let's have a few years of positiveness and see where that takes us.
Yeah, I'm excited to see drawing a line on what's been, quite literally, obviously moving to this new place, and I guess you just want smart decisions, don't you?
Correct.
Smart recruitment.
Correct.
And and a bit of a launch pad for Everton. I hope to see it, mate. I'm looking forward to that match reaction after, making it into the Champions League next season. And I will take that into my considerations for my predictions.
The Conference League will do. The Conference League will do.
Oh, God, that's the one, mate. Baz has a channel, if you don't know, him and Ped have Toffee TV. It is the Everton channel. Go check it out. Go become a patron if you're an Everton fan. It's a great place to be.
Can I also
there'll be a link in the description.
More channel?
Yeah. Of course, yeah. The podcast.
Plug my podcast, which is called Inside the Game, which I'm hoping to get James on at some stage. Would love. He'll have to be across the desk though. Zoom's great, but we want to be across the desk.
I agree.
But go and check that one out. It's not an Everton channel. It's just people from obviously inside football who talk about football, who've played it, who psychologists, things like that. So go and give that a little watch as well.
You've had some big guests on that one.
Yeah.
Just to reel off a few for him.
Connor Cody's been on it. Yeah. Wayne Rooney's been on it. Jamie Carragher. Alan Myers of Sky, of course, being on it. People like that. Alan Kelly. There's lots more to come. Yeah. I've missed loads because there's been about 18 of them. But loads more to come, and James will be one of those.
I will be. I promise.
Thank you very much.
There's a link in the description to that then. I'll put that in there as well. Lots to go and enjoy. If you've enjoyed this podcast, please do follow us wherever you're watching it or listening to it. And subscribe and give us a 5-star rating. All the nice things you could do, I would gratefully appreciate. Thanks for listening. See you soon.